your sanity. Well, if you've done your duty by him as a mother should, you wouldn't let him spoil a poor girl's flowers and run away without paying.
Go on about your business, my girl.
Taxi!
Bunch of harlots trodden them mad.
Oh, taxi! Taxi!
I'm sorry, Captain. Buy flowers for poor girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't any change.
Oh, I can change half a crown. Yes, here's a 4 tuppence.
I really haven't any. Oh, stop. Here's 3 halfpence if that's any use to you.
Thank you, sir.
Taxi!
Better be careful, man. Better give him a flower for me. There's a man behind that corner taking down every blessed word that's saying.
I haven't done nothing wrong by speaking with a gentleman. I'll reward yourself flowers if I keep off the curb. I'm a respectable girl. So help me, I never stabbed him except asking to buy a flower off me.
What's the row? What's all moving on?
There's a chap taking it down.
Oh, sir, don't let him charge me. You don't know what it means to me. They'll take away my character and drive me on the streets for speaking to gentlemen.
There. Who's hurting you, you silly girl?
On my Bible, I'll find a little word.
Oh, shut up. Do I look like a policeman?
Then would you take down the words for? How do I know what you took me down right? You just show me what you wrote about me. So that's proper writing, I can't read it.
I can. Oi, say, Captain, buy a flower off a poor girl.
Oh, it's because I've gone, Captain. Oh, sir, I meant no harm. Don't let me
A charge? I make no charge. Really, sir, if you are a detective, you need not begin protecting me against molestation against young women until I ask you. Anybody could see the girl meant no harm.
He ain't a sec. He's a gentleman. Look at his boots.
And how are all of your people down in Sterling?
Who told you I came from Selby?
Never mind, you did. And how did you come to be up so far east? You were born in Lisson Grove.
Oh, what arms am I living in the 6th round? It wasn't fit for a pig to live in, and I had to pay 4 to week.
Live where you like, but stop that noise. Oh, come. He can't touch you. You have a right to live where you please.
Oh, I'm a good girl, I am.
You know where I come from? Hoxton. Well, who said I didn't?
Blimey, you know everything, don't you?
Sounds where he came from, too. If you want to go fortune telling. Cheltenham, Harrow, Cambridge, and India. Quite right.
He's not a cat. He's a blooming busybody. That's what he is.
May I ask, sir, do you do this sort of thing for a living on the music hall? I have thought of that. Perhaps I will someday.
He's no gentleman. He ain't interfere with a poor girl.
But how do you do it, if I may ask? Simple phonetics. The science of speech. Well, that's my profession. Also my hobby. Anyone can tell an Irishman or Yorkshireman by his brogue. I can place a man within 6 miles, within 2 miles in London, sometimes within 2 streets.
Ought to be ashamed of himself, and then he cowed.
My dear, there is a living in that, isn't there? Ah, yes, quite a fat one.
Let him mind his business to leave a poor girl.
Woman! Cease this detestable boo-hooing instantly, or else seek the refuge of some other place of worship.
I have a right to be a fine life. I'm with you.
A woman who utters such depressing and disgusting noises has no right to be anywhere. No right to live. Remember that you are a human being with the divine gift of articulate speech. Let your native language is the language of Shakespeare and Milton and the Bible. And don't sit there blooming like a bilious pigeon.
Ow!
Look at her, a prisoner of the gutter, condemned by every syllable she utters. By right, she should be taken out in half for the cold-blooded murder of the English tongue. Well, heavens, what a noise. This is what the British population calls an elementary education. Oh, come, sir, I think you took it for example. Did I? Yellow garments so square, dropping atheists everywhere, speaking English any way they like. You, sir, did you go to school? When no one taught you taking instead of type. Hear a Yorkshire man a word, hear a Cornish man converse. I'd rather hear a choir singing flat. Chickens cackling in a barn, just like this one. Yawn. I ask you, sir, what sort of word is that? It's ow and yawn that keep her in her place. Not her wretched clothes and dirty face. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? This verbal class distinction by now to the end. Yes. Why can't the English learn to set a good example for people whose English is painful to your ears? The Scots and the Irish speaking folks cheer. There even are places where English completely disappeared. Well, in America, they haven't used it for years. Why can't the English teach their children how to speak? Norwegians learn Norwegian. The Greeks are taught their Greek. In France, every Frenchman knows this language makes sense. But the French don't care what they do, actually, as long as they pronounce it properly. Arabians learn Arabian with the speed of summer lightning, and the Hebrews learn it backwards, which is absolutely frightening. But use proper English, you're regarded as a freak. Why can't the English? Why can't the English learn to keep her in the gutter for the rest of her days? Why, in 6 months, I can pass her off as a duchess at an embassy ball. I can even get her a job as a lady's maid or an assistant in a florist shop, which requires better English.
Here, what's that you say?
Yes, you squat cabbage leaves. You disgrace the noble architecture of these columns. You incarnate insults to the English language. In 6 months, I can pass you off as the Queen of Sheba.
Taxi!
Now, you don't believe that.
Taxi! Oh, well, anything is possible. I myself am a student of Indian dialect.
Are you? Do you know Colonel Pickering, author of spoken Sanskrit?
Sorry, I'm Colonel Pickering. Who are you?
Henry Higgins, author of Higgins' Universal Alphabet.
I came from India to meet you.
I was going to India to meet you.
Higgins.
Pickering, where are you staying?
At the Carlton.
Oh, no, you're not. You're staying at 27A Wimpole Street. Come with me and we'll have a jar over supper.
Right you are.
Buy a flower time, sir. I'm sure for me, nothing.
Liar, you said you could change half a crowd.
What to be stuffed with nails, you want? Yeah, take those blooming baskets for 6 pence.
Ah, church. A reminder. Indian dialect has always fascinated me. I have records of over 50.
Have you now? Did you know there are over 200?
My George, well, certainly that's not that many. You're all blooming very strongly.
Pretty good looking for a good customer,
Well, you won't do.
It's rather dull in town, I think I'll take me to Paris.
Some visits once you open up a castle in Capri.
Dr. recommends a quiet summer by the sea.
With one enormous chair
this here world I did, this lovely world with the sun that shines and the moon that glows, I passed walked one fine spring night. No ruddy city of London to roam about in town of blooming flowers. I give her all that. And then I disappears and leaves her on her own to enjoy it. Now, if that ain't worth half a crown now and again, I'll take off my belt and give her what for. You have a good heart, Alfie, but if you want half a crown from Eliza, you better have a good story to go with it. Eliza! What a surprise!
Not a brass farthing.
Now, wait a minute, Eliza. You wouldn't have been out to send me on to your stepmother without a bit of liquid protection, now would you?
Stepmother? Ah, stepmother indeed.
Well, I'm willing to marry her. It's me that suffers by it, Eliza. I'm a slave to that woman, just because I ain't a lawful husband. Come on, so if you want that after crown to go home on.
Well, I had a bit lucky stuff tonight. So here.
George, please lie up there.
But don't keep coming around covering half crowns for me.
Thank you, Eliza. You're a noble daughter. You see, boys, I told you not to go out. It's just faith, though, and a little bit of luck. The Lord above gave man an arm of eyes, so he could do his job and never shirk. The Lord above gave man an arm of iron, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck. Sometimes I'll do the thinking work, with a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck will never work. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, see if man could turn away from sin. The Lord above made liquor for temptation, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck. When temptation comes, you'll give right in. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you'll give right in. Oh, you can walk the straight and narrow, but with a little bit of luck, you'll run them off. Sex was made for man to marry, to share his nest and see his food is cooked. The gentle sex was made for man to marry, but with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck, you can have it all and not get off. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you won't get off. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming love. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of luck, you won't find out. With a little bit, with a little bit, with a little bit of blooming love. Could we turn on the light? Nonsense. You hear much better in the dark, but it's a fearful strain that we draw those vowel sounds. I'm quite done up for this afternoon.
Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins.
What is it, Mrs. Pierce?
There's a young woman here to see you, sir.
A young woman? What does she want? Has she an interesting accent?
Something. She's ready, sir.
Let's have her up. Show her up, Mrs. Pierce.
Very well, sir.
This is rather a bit of luck. I'll show you how I make recordings. Once I'm talking, and I'll take her down in Bell's visible speech, and then in broad Roman. And then you can get her on the phonograph so that you can turn around as often as you like with the written transcripts before you.
The young woman, sir.
Good morning, Arthur. That's my night.
No. This is the young girl I jotted down last night. I have all the records I want of the Lucy Road.
she came in.
Yeah, we are proud. But he ain't above giving lessons. Not him. I am say so. Well, I ain't come here personally compliment. If my money's not good enough, I can go elsewhere.
Good enough for what?
Good enough for you. Now, you know, don't you? I come down lessons I have, and apply for a 2-bike on the side.
Well, what do you expect me to say?
Well, if you was a gentleman, you might ask me to sit down, I think. You're not telling me I'm bringing you business.
Pickering, shall we ask Miss Baggage to sit down, or shall we throw her out the window?
Wow! I won't be called a baggage, not when I'm over the pie like any lady.
What is it you want?
I want to be a lady in a flower shop. Instead of selling flowers at the corner of Tottenham Court Road. But I won't touch me unless I can talk more genteel. Well, he said he could teach me. Here I am, ready to pie, not asking any favour, and he treats me as if I was dirt. I know what lessons cost, and I'm ready to pie.
How much?
Nah, you're talking. I thought you'd come off it when you saw a chance of giving a bit back to what you chucked at me last night. You had a drop it, Nancy.
Sit down.
Oh, if you're gonna make a compliment,
Sit down. What is your name?
Eliza, Doolittle.
Won't you sit down, Miss Doolittle?
Yeah, don't mind if I do.
And how much do you propose to pay me for these lessons, Miss Doolittle?
Oh, I know it's right. A lady friend of mine gets French lessons for 18 cents an hour from a real French gentleman. Well, you wouldn't have the fight to ask me the sign to teach me the owl language as you would for French. So I will give more than a shilling, take it or leave it.
You know, Pickering, if you consider a shilling not as a simple shilling, but as a percentage of this girl's income, it works out as roughly equivalent to 60 or 70 pounds for a millionaire. By George, it's the biggest offer I've ever gotten.
60 pounds? You told me I ain't about you 60 pounds.
Oh, hold your tongue.
But I ain't got 60 pounds.
Silly girl, nobody's going to touch your nose.
Somebody's going to touch you with a broomstick if you don't stop sniveling. Now sit down.
Ow! One would think you was my father.
If I decide to keep you, I shall be worse than 2 fathers to you. Here,
What's this for?
to wipe your eyes. To wipe any part of your face that feels moist. Remember, that is your handkerchief and that is your sleeve. And don't confuse one with the other if you wish to become a lady in a shop.
Higgins, I'm interested. Well, what about your boast that you could pass her off to the Duchess at the embassy ball? I'll say you're the greatest teacher alive if you can make that good. I'll save you all the expenses of the experiment you can't do it. And I'll even pay for the lesson.
Ow, you're real good. Thank you, Cotton.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty.
Ow, I ain't dirty. What's my life now? Oh, come on, this.
I'll take it. I'll make a duchess of this draggle-tailed gutter tonight.
Ow!
I'll start right now, this moment. Mrs. Pierce, take her away and clean her. Sandpaper if it won't come off any other way. Is there a good fire in the kitchen?
Yes, but Mr. Higgins, I can't...
Take up all of her clothes and burn them. Bring up and order some new ones. Wrap her up in brown paper until they come.
You know, gentlemen, you know to talk of such things. I'm a good girl, I am, and I know the lights of your eyes do.
We want none of your swamp fruitery here, young woman. Yours will learn to behave like a duchess. Mrs. Pierce, take her away. If she gives you any trouble, wallop her.
Oh, God, the police, I will.
But Mr. Higgins, I've really no place to put her.
Put her in the dustbin.
Ow!
Now, come, Higgins. Do be reasonable.
You must be reasonable, Mr. Higgins. You really must. You can't walk over everybody like this.
I walk all over everybody. My dear Mrs. Pierce, my dear Pickering, I never had the slightest intention of walking over anybody. If I did not express myself clearly, it is because I did not wish to hurt her delicacy. Or yours.
But Mr. Higgins, you can't take up a girl like this as if you were picking up a pebble on the beach.
Why not?
Why not? You don't know anything about her. About her parents. She may be married.
John.
There. As the girl very properly says, John.
You marry me.
By George, Eliza, the streets will be strewn with the bodies of men shooting themselves for your sake before I have done with you.
Yeah, I'm down. His office champion. I don't want no bomb he's teaching me.
Oh, indeed, I'm mad, am I? Very well. Mrs. Pierce, you needn't order new clothes for her. Throw her out.
Stop, Mr. Higgins. I won't allow it. Go home to your parents, girl.
I ain't got no parents.
There, see? The girl ain't got no parents. She doesn't belong to anybody, and she's of no use to anybody but me. Take her away, Mrs. Pierce.
But Mr. Higgins, think about it. Is she to be paid anything while she's here?
What on earth will she want with money? She'll have her food and her clothes. She'll only drink if you give her money.
Oh, you are a fool. It's a lie. Nobody ever saw the sign of liquor on me. Oh, sir, you're a gentleman. Don't let him speak to me like that.
Does it occur to you, Begin, that the girl has some feelings?
Oh, no, I don't think so. No, not any feelings that we need bother about. Have you, Eliza?
But for sake, Higgins, do be sensible, sir. What is to become of her when you've finished your teaching?
Well, what's to become of her if I leave her in the gutter? Answer me that, dear.
But that's her own business, sir, not yours.
Very well, then when I've done with her, we can throw her back in the gutter, and it will be her own business again. So that's all right.
You've no feeling out in you. You don't care for nothing but yourself. We all had enough of some going on.
Eliza, have some chocolates.
How do I know what might be in them? I heard of girls being drugged by the likes of you.
Pledge of good faith. I'll eat one half, and you eat the other. You shall have boxes of them, barrels of them, every day. You shall live on them, eh?
I wouldn't like it. I mean, I'm too large like taking it out of me back.
Think of it, Eliza. Think of chocolate, and taxis, and gold, and diamonds.
No! I don't want no gold, no diamonds. Well, I'm a good girl, I am.
Excuse me, Higgins, but I really must interfere. Mrs. Pierce is quite right. If the girl is to put herself in your hands for 6 months for an experiment in teaching, she must understand thoroughly what she's doing.
Eliza, you are to stay here for the next 6 months, learning to speak beautifully like a lady in a florist's shop. If you are good and do as you're told, you should have money to buy chocolates and take rides in taxis. If you are naughty and idle, you shall sleep in the back kitchen among the black beetles and be walloped by Mrs. Pierce with a broomstick. At the end of 6 months, you shall be taken by carriage to Buckingham Palace, beautifully dressed. If the king finds out you're not lady, you shall be taken by the police to the Tower of London, where your head will be cut off as a warning to other presumptuous flower girls. If you are not found out, you shall have a present of 7 and 6 to start life with as a lady in a shop. If you refuse this offer, you shall be the most wicked, ungrateful girl, and the angels will weep for you. Now are you satisfied, Pickering?
I don't understand a word you're talking about.
Could I put it more plainly or fairly, Mrs. Pierce?
Come with me, Eliza.
Why don't we off to the bathroom?
You're a great bully, you are. I won't say it, but I'm like, I won't let nobody follow me.
Don't answer that.
If I'd known I'd let you down before, I would have come up here. I would have been a good girl. I had not be so strong.
In 6 months, in 3 if she has a good ear and a quick tongue, I'll take her anywhere and pass her off as anything. I'll make a queen of that barbarous wretch.
Higgins, forgive the bluntness, but if I'm to be in this business, I shall feel responsible for the girl. I hope it's clearly understood that no advantage is to be taken of her position.
That thing, sacred, I assure you.
Oh, now come, Higgins, you know what I mean. This is no trifling matter. Are you a man of good character where women are concerned?
Have you ever met a man of good character where women are concerned?
Yes, very frequently.
Well, I haven't. I find that the moment a woman makes friends with me, she becomes jealous, exacting, suspicious, and a damn nuisance. I find that the moment I let myself make friends with a woman, I become selfish and tyrannical. So here I am, a confirmed old bachelor, and likely to remain so. After all, Pickering, I'm an ordinary man who desires nothing more than just the ordinary chap who lives exactly as he likes and precisely what he wants. An average man of mine, of no eccentric whims, who likes to live his life free of strife, doing whatever he thinks is best for him. Just an ordinary man. But there's a woman in your life, and your serenity is improved. She'll decorate your home from the cellar to the dome, and then get on to the enthralling, but overhauling you. Oh, there's a woman in your life, and you are up against the wall. Make a plan if you would find she has something else in mind, and then rather than do either, you do something else that neither like at all. You want to talk of tears or Milton. She only wants you to talk of love, and go to see a play or ballet, and spend it searching for her love. Oh, there's a woman in your life, and you invite eternal strife. Let them buy their wedding bands, be equally as willing for a dentist to be drilling than to have a lad of woman in my life. Even-tempered and good-natured, whom you'll never hear complain, who has the milk of human kindness, by the quart in every vein, a patient man mine, gathered from my fingertips, the salt who never could, never would, let an insulting remark escape his lips. Just a very gentle man. But there's a woman in your life, and patient hasn't got a chance. She was begging for advice, and your reply will be concise, and she'll listen very nicely, then go out and do precisely what she wants. You are a man of grace and polish, who never spoke above a hush. Now all at once you're using language that would make a sailor blush. Oh, there's a woman in your life, and you are plunging in night. That the others of my sex tie the knot around their necks. I prefer a new edition of the Spanish Inquisition than to have that of a woman in my life. I'm a quiet living man who prefers to spend his evenings in the silence of his room, who likes an atmosphere as restful as an undiscovered room, a pensive man mind, a philosophic joy, who likes to meditate, contemplate, free from humanity's mad inhuman noise. Just a quiet little man. But there's a woman in your life, and your sabbatical is through. In a line that never ends, come an army of her friends, come to jabber and to chatter and to tell her what the matter is with you. You'll have a booming, boisterous family that will descend on you en masse. You'll have a large Baghdadian mother with a voice that shatters glass. Oh, let a woman in your life. Oh, let a woman in your life. Oh, let a woman in your life. I shall never let a woman in my life. I told you to get out of here! What is that? Hey! I told you I ain't running no Daddy Bazaar!
She does it properly, of course. Is that all, Mrs. Pierce?
No, sir. There's another letter from that American millionaire. He still wants you to lecture at his Moral Reform League.
Throw it away.
But it's the third one he's written you, sir.
Very well, put it on my desk. I'll get to it.
Yes, sir.
If you please, sir, there's a dustman downstairs. Mr. Alfred Doolittle. Wants to see you. He said you have a daughter.
Phew, I say, send the blackguard up. He may not be a blackguard again. Nonsense, of course he's a blackguard. Well, whether he is or not, I'm afraid we shall have some trouble with him. Oh, no, I think not. If there's any trouble, he shall have it with me, not I with him.
Doolittle, sir.
Professor Egan? Yeah, good morning. Oh, good morning, Governor. Oh, I forgot a very serious matter, Governor. Born in Hounslow, mother Welsh. What do you want, Doolittle? I want my daughter, that's what I want. See? Of course, you're her father, aren't you? I'm glad to see there's some spark of family getting that. She's up here, take her away at once. What? Well, do you suppose I'm going to keep your daughter for you? Now, wait a minute, Governor, is this reasonable? Is it fairly to take advantage of a man like this? How dare you come here to attempt to blackmail me? You sent him here on purpose. Now, don't take a man up like that, Governor. The police shall take you up. This is a plan, a plot to extort money by threat. I shall telephone the police. Now, wait a minute, Governor, wait a minute. If I ask for a brass farthing, I put it to this gentleman here. If I said a word about money, then what else did you come for? What would about come for? Hear me, Governor. Alfred, you sent her here on purpose. So help me, Governor, I never did. Then how do you know she was here? I'll tell you, Governor, if you'll only let me get a word in. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you. Pickering, this chap has a certain natural gift of rhetoric. Observe the rhythm of his native wood notes wild. I'm willing to tell you. I'm wanting to tell you. I'm waiting to tell you. That's the Welsh strain in him. How did you know Eliza was here if you didn't send her? She sent back home for a luggage and all got to hear about it. She said she didn't want no clothes. What was I to think from that, Governor? I asked you as a parent. What was I to think? So you came to rescue her from worse than death, eh? Just so, Governor, that's right. Very well. Now, Mrs. Pierce, Eliza's father is here to take her away. Give her to him. Now, Governor, you and me as men of the world, ain't we? Oh, men of the world, are we? Mrs. Pierce, you better go.
I think so indeed, sir.
Governor, I'm taking a sort of liking to you. And if you want the girl, I'm not so set on having her back home yet. But what I might be open to is an arrangement. You see, all I ask is to be right as a father. And you're not the last man alive to expect me to let it go for nothing. For I can see you one of the straight sort, Governor. Well, what's a £5 note to you? And what's Eliza to me? I think you ought to know, Doolittle, that Mr. Higgins' intentions are entirely honorable. Oh, of course they are, Governor. I thought there wasn't that asked 50. Do you mean to tell me that you'd sell your daughter for £50? Now, you know morals, man. Nope, I can't afford it. Neither would you as poor as me. Not that I mean any harm, mind you, but if Eliza's going to get a bit out of it, why not me too? Eh? Look at it my way. What am I? I ask you, what am I? I'm one of the undeserving poor, that's what I am. Think what that means to a man. I don't need less than a deserving man. I need more. I don't eat less body than he does, and I drink a lot more. I'm playing straight with you, Governor. I'm pretending to be deserving. I'm undeserving. I mean to go on being undeserving. I like it. That's the truth. Will you take advantage of a man's nature? Cheat him out of the price of his own daughter when he's brought up, fed, and clothed by the sweat of his brow? Till she's grown big enough to become interesting to you two gentlemen? £5 not really. I'll put it to you and I'll leave it to you. You know, Pickering, if we were to take this man in hand for 6 months, he could choose between a seat in the cabinet and a popular pulpit in Wales. I suppose we ought to give him a $5. He'll make bad use of it, I'm afraid. Not me, so help me, Governor, I won't. Just one good spree for myself and the missus. You couldn't spend it better. This is irresistible. Oh, damn, let's give him 10. Oh, no. The missus wouldn't have the art to spend 10. £10 is a lot of money, Governor. It makes a man feel prudent-like. Ain't goodbye to happiness. No, you give me what I ask for, not a penny more, not a penny less. I'd rather draw the line as encouraging this sort of immorality. Doolittle, why don't you marry that sister of yours? After all, marriage is not so frightening. You married Eliza's mother.
Oh, told you that, Governor.
Well, nobody told me, but I considered
Gregory, if we listen to this man for 1 moment longer, we shall have no convictions left. £5, I think he said.
Thank you, Governor.
Oh, beg pardon, miss.
I won't say those pretty vows one more time.
Blimey, it's Eliza. I never thought she'd clean up so good looking. She does me credit, don't she, Governor?
Yeah, what you doing here?
Now you hold your tongue, Eliza, and don't you give these gentlemen none of your lip. If you have any trouble with the Governor, just give her a few licks of the old strap. That's the way to improve her mind. Good day, gentlemen. Cheerio, Eliza.
Now there's a man for you. The philosophical genius of the first Washington. Mrs. Pierce, write to Mr. Ezra Wallingford and tell him that if he wants a lecturer, to get in touch with Mr. Alfred P. Doolittle. A common dustman, but one of the most original moralists in England.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what are you come for?
Say your vowels.
I now me vows, who's the boy kind?
If you know them, say them.
I-E-I-L-U.
Stop. Say A-E-I-O-U.
That's what I said. I-E-I-L-U. That's what I've been trying for 3 days. I won't say it no more.
I know it's difficult, Mr.
Oh,
Wiggle.
you'll explain it, Pickering. As a military man, you want to know that. Drilling is what she needs. Better leave her, or she'll be turning to you for sympathy.
All right, if you insist. But have a little patience with her, Higgins.
Of course. Say A.
You ain't got no heart, you ain't.
A.
I.
Eliza, I promise you, you will say your vowels correctly before the day is out, or there will be no lunch, no dinner, and no chocolate.
White, Enrique is just too white. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too light. You'll be broken on as money, but I am that damn funny, just too white. Enrique is just too white. Just too white, Enrique is to your sick. I'm just dreams of it, your doctor double quick. I'll be off the second lighter, and go try to bust the lighter. Ha-ha-ha, Enrique, just too white. Ooh, Enrique, just too white until we're swimming in the sea. Ooh, Enrique, I'm sure you're from a little wine from me. When you yell, you're gonna draw, and I'll get dressed and go to town. Ha ha ha, Enrique, ha ha ha, Enrique, just you white. The rhyme in sign dies mindly in decline.
The rain in Spain is mainly in the plain.
Did I say that?
No, Eliza, you didn't say that. You didn't even say that. Each night before you get into bed, where you used to say your prayers, I want you to say, the rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain 50 times. You'll get much further with the Lord if you learn not to offend his ears. Now for your H's. Pickering, this is going to be ghastly.
Control yourself, Higgins. Give the girl a chance.
Of course. No one expects her to get it right on the first time. You like it. You see this candle? Each time you say your H properly, the flame will wake. Each time you drop your H, it will remain stationary. And that's how you will know you've done it correctly. In time, your ear will learn to hear the difference. Now, watch this. In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. Now, repeat after me.
In Oxford, Edinburgh, Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
No, no, no. No idea at all, you know?
Shall you tell her?
No, no, please, no. We must start from the very beginning. Say this. Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
Well, go on.
Ha.
Does the same thing hold true in English, Pickering? The peculiar habit of not only dropping a letter like the letter H, but using it when it doesn't belong, as in pepper instead of effort. You'll notice that some Slavic people do this with their G's. They'll say linger instead of linger, and then they'll turn right around and say finger instead of singer. I wonder why that's so. I must look that up.
Go, Higgins!
Huh.
Kind of you, kind of you, kind of you. Now listen, Eliza. How kind of you to let me come.
How kind of you to let me come.
No, no, no. Kind of you, kind of you. It's just like a cup of tea. Kind of you, cup of tea, kind of you. Say cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
No, no, can't you hear the difference? It's awfully good cake. I wonder what Mrs. Pierce gets it.
First rate. The strawberry tarts are delicious. And oh, have you tried the flying cake?
Now try it again.
Have you tried the...
No! Try it again.
A cup of tea.
No, no, no. Place your tongue against the bottom of your front teeth. Now say cup.
Cup.
Now say of.
Of.
Now say cup, 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 of.
Cup, 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 of.
Oh, yum, 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 yum. By Jove, this is a glorious tea. Finish the strawberry tart. I couldn't eat another thing.
No, thank you.
Oh, well, it's a shame to waste it.
Oh, it won't go away. I know someone who can make me fond of strawberry tart. Each word as if the marbles were not in your mouth. With blackest moss, the flower heart was thickly trusted, one and all. Each word clear as a bell.
I say, Higgins, are those pebbles really necessary?
If they were necessary for Demosthenes, then they are necessary for Eliza Doolittle. Now try it again. I cannot understand a word, not a word.
I say, Higgins, perhaps the film was too difficult for the girl. Why not try a simpler one? Like the owl and the pussycat. Now that's a damn fine poem.
For God's sake, Pickering, I cannot hear the girl. What's the matter? Why did you stop?
I'll try a one.
Oh, that's all right. We have plenty more.
For God's sake, Higgins, it must be 3 o'clock in the morning. Do be reasonable.
I am always reasonable. Eliza, if I can go on with a blistering headache, you can.
I have an headache too.
Here. Eliza, I know you're tired. I know your head aches. I know your nerves are as raw as meat in a butcher's window. Just think what you're trying to accomplish. Think what you're dealing with. The majesty and grandeur of the English language. Why, it's the greatest possession we have. The noblest sentiments that ever flowed in the hearts of men are contained in its musical and imaginative mixtures of sound. That's what you set yourself out to conquer, and conquer it you will. Now, try it again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
What was that?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
Again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it.
Rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
By George, she's got it. By George, she's got it. Now once again, where does it rain?
On the plain, on the plain.
And where's that glass in Spain?
In Spain, in Spain. Rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
Come on!
Rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains.
Hannibal to Hampshire.
Hurricanes hardly happen. How kind of you to let me come.
Now once again, where does it rain?
On the plain, on the plain.
And where's that slowly train?
In Spain, in Spain.
We're making fine progress. I think the time has come to try it out.
Are you feeling all right, Mr. Higgins?
Quite well. You, Mrs. Pierce?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Splendid. Let's test her in public and see how she fares.
Mr. Higgins, I was awakened by a dreadful pounding. Do you know what it could have been?
Pounding? I heard no pounding. Did you, Pickering?
No.
I know. That's English in the races.
The races?
Yes, my mother fought to that cost.
You can talk to your mother first, of course.
Of course. No, you'll surprise her. Yes, let's go straight to bed. First thing in the morning, we'll go off and buy her a gown. Eliza, go on with your work.
Mr. Higgins, it's early in the morning.
What better time to work than early in the morning? Where does one go for a woman's gown?
Oh, Whiteley's, of course.
How do you know that?
Common knowledge.
Well, we're not together in the Lowry, and in spite of those gowns, be here and be there. Something simple and elegant was called for. Perhaps with a bow. Yes, just right.
Well, you've all been working much too hard, and the strain is beginning to show. Eliza, I don't care what Mr. Higgins says. Put down your book. You're going to bed.
I couldn't go to bed. My head's too light to try to let it down. Sleep, tonight. One more, one rule did not drown. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night. And still have begged for more. I could have said my I don't understand. Do you mean to say that my son is coming to Ascot today?
Oh, yes, he is, Mrs. Higgins. As a matter of fact, he's here.
What a disagreeable surprise. Ascot is usually the one place I can come to with my friends, and not run the risk of seeing my son Henry. Whenever my friends meet him, I've never seen them again.
Well, he had to come, Mrs. Higgins. You see, he's bringing the girl to the annual MC ball, and he wanted to try her out first.
I beg your pardon.
Do you know the annual MC ball?
Well, of course I know the ball, but what girl?
Oh, I didn't mention that.
No, you did not.
Well, it's quite simple, really. One night I went to the opera at Covent Garden to see one of my favorite operas, Aida. And as I was coming out, well, incidentally, they didn't do Aida that night. No, they did Gotha Demaru instead. I'd never heard Gotha Demaru before. By George, that's a rackety one. Now, when this fine tenor chap began to sing...
What about the girl, Colonel?
Oh, yes. Well, as I was coming out, I met your son Henry, who in turn met Miss Doolittle, who now lives with Henry.
This is with Henry. Is it a love affair?
Oh, heavens no, she's a flower girl. He picked her up off the coast.
A flower girl?
Oh, yes. Higgins said to me, a picturing, but you see this girl? In 6 months I can make a duchess of her. I said nonsense, but he came right back with, oh, yes I can. All right, I said. I'll make it better you can't. And I did. And he is. Oh.
The horse will be pathetic, Mrs. Higgins.
Excuse me, I must fetch her.
But, Colonel, am I to understand that Henry is bringing a common flower girl to Ascot?
Oh, yes, he is, Mrs. Higgins. That's it precisely. A jolly good, Mrs. Higgins. Jolly good.
Charles, you better stay close to the car. I may be leaving abruptly. I saw Colonel Pickering, and Henry, dear, I'm most provoked. I've heard you brought a common flower girl from Covent Garden to my bar.
You needn't worry. I've taught her to speak properly, and she has strict instructions as to her behavior. She's to stick to two subjects, the weather and everybody's health. Sort of fine day and how do you do it, not just let yourself go off on things in general. Help her along, dear, and you'll be quite safe.
Safe? To talk about one's health in the middle of a race.
Well, she's got to talk about something.
Henry, dear, you're not even dressed for Ascot.
I've changed my shirt.
Well, where is the girl now?
Being king. Some of the clothes we bought for her didn't quite fit. I told Pickering we should have taken her with us.
You're a sweet-ass baby playing with your live doll. Ah, Mrs. Eynsford Hill.
Oh, damn. Are all these people with you?
Mrs. Higgins, is this your celebrated son? I'm sorry to say this. My celebrated son has no manners. He may be the life and soul of the Royal Society soirees, but he's rather trying on more commonplace occasions.
Ah!
Ah, Colonel Pickering, you're just in time for tea.
Thank you. Mrs. Higgins, may I introduce Miss Eliza Doolittle?
My dear Miss Doolittle, how kind of you to let me come to lighten my care. Mrs. Eynsford Hill, Miss Doolittle, how do you do? Lord Lady Washington, Miss Doolittle, how do you do? How do you do? And pretty Eynsford Hill, how do you do?
How do you do? Miss Doolittle?
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins.
The first race was very exciting, Doolittle. I'm so sorry you missed it.
Will it rain, do you think? The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plains. But in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
How awfully funny.
What is wrong with that young man? I bet I got it right.
Smashing.
I do hope you don't have any unsuitable cold spells. It brings us so much influenza, and our whole family is susceptible to it. My aunt died of influenza, so they said. But it's my belief they done the old girl in. Yes, Lord love you. Why should she die of influenza when she came through diphtheria right enough the year before? Fairly blue, isn't she was? They all thought she was dead. But my father, he kept laying gin down her throat. Then she came to so sudden that she ripped the ball up to Now, what call would a woman with that strength in her have to die of influenza? And what should become of her new straw hat that should have come to me? Somebody pitched it. And what I say is, them as pitched it, done her in.
Done her in. That's the new smallpox. To do someone in means to kill them.
You surely don't believe your aunt was killed. Do I not? Them she lived with would have killed her for a hat pin, let alone a hat. But it can't have been right for your father to pour spirits down her throat like that. He might have killed her. Not her. Gin was mother's milk to her. Besides, he poured so much down his own throat that he knew the good of it. Drank my word, something chronic. Here, what are you
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Are those for sale?
Why, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think you can, sir.
Isn't it a heavenly day?
Why, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is Miss Doolittle at home?
Whom shall I say is calling, sir?
Freddie Eynsford Hill. If she doesn't remember me, tell her I'm the chap who was sniggering at her.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and could you give her these?
Yes, sir.
You needn't rush. I want you to bring me up the street where she lives.
Yes, sir.
I have often walked down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feeling more. All at once am I several stories high, knowing I'm on the street where you live. On the lilac trees in the harvest town, can you hear a lark in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling, just to know somehow you are near. Feel the powering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop and stare, they don't follow me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you live. Yes.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. Miss Doolittle says she doesn't want to see anyone ever again.
But why? She was magnificent.
Magnificent. You have the right address.
Of course. Tell her I'll wait.
But, sir, that could be days, even weeks.
But don't you see? I'll be happier here. People stop and stare, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth that I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can be here on the street where you
Higgins, if there's any mishap at the embassy tonight, if Miss Doolittle suffers any embarrassment whatever, it's on your head alone. I've been begging you to call off this experiment ever since Ascot.
Eliza can do anything.
But suppose she's discovered? Suppose she makes another ghastly mistake?
There will be no horses at the ball, Hickory.
Oh, but think how agonizing it would be. God, if anything should happen, I don't know what I'd do.
You could rejoin your regiment.
Oh, now come, Higgins. This is no time for sympathy. The way you've driven the girl these past 6 weeks has exceeded all the bounds of common... Oh, for God's sake, Higgins, stop pacing up and down. Can't you settle something?
Have some port. It will quiet your nerves.
I'm not nervous. Where is it?
On the table.
The car is here, sir.
Ah, thank you. Please help Eliza.
Yes, sir.
Oh, help her indeed. Up at the damn gown doesn't fit. I warned you about those French designers. You should have gone to a good English store where you knew everybody was on our side. Have you the port?
No, thank you.
It will quiet her nerves.
No, thank you.
Are you so sure she'll retain all you've hammered into her?
We shall see.
But suppose she doesn't?
And I do my best.
You know what I can't stand about you, Higgins? It's your confounded complacency. In a moment like this, where you have everything at stake, it's utterly indecent that you don't need a little port. And what does the girl? You act as if she doesn't matter at all.
Rubbish, Pickering. Of course she matters. What do you think I've been doing all these months? What could be more important than taking a human being and changing her into a different human being simply by creating a new speech for her? Why, filling up the deepest gulf that separates class from class and soul from soul. She matters immensely.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, Colonel Henry.
Don't you think so, Higgins? Not bad. Not bad at all.
Reginald and Lady Carrington. Professor Zoltan Tarpati. Colonel Hugh Pickering. Lord and Lady Batsington.
Mrs. Higgins!
Excuse me.
Well, she got by the first hurdle. The ambassador's wife was completely captivated.
I know. I've heard several people ask me who she is.
Lord and Lady Wellesley.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Madam Ambassador said, will you introduce me, Mr. Higgins, to this enchanting young lady? And Mrs. Higgins said, no, you're Mrs. Higgins, of course. Madam Ambassador said, how do you do? And Eliza said, how do you?
Is that all?
Oh, no. When it was my turn, both the ambassador and his wife said to me, Colonel Pickering, who is that enchanting creature with Professor Higgins.
What did you say?
Well, I was stopped for a moment. Then I collected myself and I said, Eliza Doolittle.
That was quick thinking, Colonel.
Mrs. Higgins, do you think Eliza will make it?
I hope so. I've grown so terribly fond of that girl.
Professor Henry Higgins.
Maestro! Maestro! Your
devil are you? Oh, boy. I am your pupil, your first, best, and greatest pupil. I am Sultan Galpati, that marvelous boy. I have made your name famous throughout Europe. You taught me phonetics. You cannot forget me.
Why don't you shave?
I am not your imposing appearance, your figure, your brow. Nobody noticed me when I shaved.
Where did you get all those old coins?
Old coins, I dare say, beads, and decorations for language. Anyway, the Queen of Transylvania is here this evening, and I am indispensable to her at these international parties. I speak 32 languages, and I know everybody in Europe. No imposter can escape my detection. And now, Professor, you must introduce me to this glorious creature you escort here this evening. She fascinates everyone. This so-called Greek diplomat pretends he cannot speak English, but he does not deceive me. He is the son of a Yorkshire watchmaker. He speaks English so villainously that to utter a word of it, he would immediately betray his origin. I be who I am, this is to pretend, but I make him pay through my nose, as I make all impostors pay. I look forward to meeting your later.
Higgins, I say...
Where's Eliza?
Upstairs, last week's justice. I say, Higgins, let's not risk it. Let's collect her and leave immediately.
Henry, do you think it's wise to stay?
Stay? Why not?
Miss Eliza Doolittle.
I can go to bed at least without fretting tomorrow.
Good night, Mr. Higgins.
Good night.
I think I shall turn in too, Higgins. It's been a great occasion. Good night, Pickering.
Oh, Mrs. Pierce. Oh, damn. I wanted to tell her I wanted coffee in the morning instead of tea. Leave a little note for her, will you, Eliza? What the devil have I done with my slippers?
Here are your slippers, and there, take your slippers, and may you never have a day's luck with them.
What on earth? What's the matter? Is something wrong?
No, nothing wrong with you. I've won your bet, but you haven't I.
You won my bet. You presumptuous insect. I won it. Why did you throw those slippers at me?
I wanted to smash your face. I'd like to kill you, you selfish brute. Why did you leave me where you picked me out of, in the gutter? Thank God it's all over, and then now you can throw me back again there, do you?
So the creature is nervous after all. Ah, Clause Eve, you cat. How dare you show your temper to me? Sit down.
What's to become of me? What's to become of me?
How do I know what's to become of you? What does it matter what becomes of you?
You don't care. I'm nothing to you. That's promises and slippers.
Those slippers.
Those slippers. I didn't think it made any difference now.
Why have you suddenly begun going on like this? May I ask whether you complain of your treatment here?
No.
Well, you don't pretend that I have treated you badly.
No.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I suppose it's natural for you to be anxious, but there's nothing more to worry about.
No, nothing more for you to worry about. Oh, God, I wish I was dead.
Why? Nothing's wrong. Nobody's hurting you. You go to bed like a good girl and have yourself a good cry. That will make you feel comfortable.
But what am I fit for? What have you left me fit for? Where am I to go? What am I to do? What's to become of me?
That's what's bothering you, is it? Well, I shouldn't worry too much about that. I should imagine you shouldn't have much trouble settling some place or another. Though I haven't quite realized you were going away. You might marry, you know. You see, Eliza, all men are not confirmed old bachelors like myself and the Colonel. Most men of them married, poor devils. You're not bad looking. You're quite a pleasure to look at times. Well, not now, of course. You've been crying like a very devil. But when you're all right and quite yourself, you're what I should call attractive. Now, you go to bed and have a rest, and when you wake up in the morning, have a look at yourself in the glass, and you won't feel so cheap. I dare say my mother could find some chap or other who'd do better.
You were above that in Covent Garden.
What do you mean?
I saw flowers and I put on myself. Now you've made a lady of me. I'm not fit to put on anything else.
Well, you don't have to marry him if you don't want to.
What else am I to do?
Oh, lots of things. What about that old idea of a florist shop? I was looking for it. What was it?
Your slippers.
Ah, yes. You shite them at me.
Before you go, sir, do my clothes belong to me or to Colonel Pickering?
What the devil use would they be to Pickering? Well, why didn't you stop bothering about that in the middle of the night?
I want to know what I may take away with me. I don't want to be accused of stealing.
You may take the whole damn house full if you like, except the jewels. They're hired. Will that satisfy you?
Stop, please. You take these to your room and keep them safe. I don't want to run the risk of their being missing.
Hand them over. If these belong to me instead of the jeweler, I'd ram them down your ungrateful throat.
This ring isn't the jeweler's. It's the one you bought me in Brighton. I don't want it now. Don't you hit me!
Hit you, you infamous creature? How dare you accuse me of such a thing? It is you who have hit me. You have wounded me to the heart.
I'm glad. I've got to lose my own back anyhow.
You have caused me to lose my temper, a thing that hardly ever happens. I prefer to say nothing more tonight. I'm going to bed.
You'd better leave your own note for Mrs. Pierce about the coffee, or it won't be done by me.
Damn Mrs. Pierce, damn the coffee, and damn you, and damn my own folly in having lavished my hard-earned knowledge and the treasure of my regard on a heartless gutter snipe. spend most of my time here, Mr. Little. Don't laugh at me. What?
Freddie, you don't think I'm a heartless girl, son, do you?
Nonsense. How could you imagine such a thing? You know how I feel about you. I've written you 2 and 3 times a day telling you. Sheets and sheets. Eliza.
Words, I still pick on words. I get words all day through. From him now from you. It's not for you, but I can do. Stars burning above. If you're in love, show me. Let me no dream. If this is all, if you're on board, show me. Never get together in the middle of the night. Don't have to scream. Just hold me high. Everyone who's never been in love will tell you that. This is no time for a check. What has he done to you?
He's ruined me, that's all. Tied me up and delivered me into the hands of middle-class morality. And don't you defend him. Was it him or was it not him that wrote to that old American blighter named Wallingford, who was giving $5 million to found moral reform societies, and telling them the most original moralist in all of England was Mr. Alfred P. Doolittle, a common dustman?
That sounds like one of his jokes.
Oh, you may call it a joke. Put the lid on me right enough. The bloke died and left me £4,000 a year in his blooming will.
Come along, Alfie, and you all get to be at the church.
Church?
Yes, church. That's the deepest cut of all. Why do you think I'm all dressed up like a ruddy pallbearer? His stepmother wants to marry me. Now, I'm respectable. She wants to be respectable.
If that's the way you feel, why don't you give the money back?
That's the tragedy of it, Eliza. It's easy to say chuck it without having the nerve. That's what your precious professor's brought me to.
Not my precious professor.
Oh, sent you back, has he? You double-crossed him. Don't you come home to me. Don't you take tuppence from me. You stand on your own 2 feet. You're a lady now, and you can do it. Eliza, it's getting awfully cold in that taxi. I say, you want to see me turned off this morning? St. George's, Amber Square, 10 o'clock. I wouldn't advise it, but you're welcome.
No, thank you, Dad.
Are you all finished here?
Yes, Freddie. I'm all finished here. Good luck, Dad.
Come along, Elsie. How much time do I have left?
Just a few more hours.
There's drinks and girls all over London, and I've got to track them down in just a few more hours. I get married in the morning. Ding dong, bells on the chime. Pull out the supper, let's have a walk. Get me to the church all right. I got to be there in the morning. Stop looking in your eyes. Girls, come and kiss me. Shall you kiss me? Forget me to the church all right. If I am dancing, roll on the floor. If I am whistling, or I get married in the morning. Ding dong, bells gonna chime. Ching gong the rumpet, but don't lose the compass. And get me to the church. Get me to the church. For God's sake, get me to the church.
confounded thing. Eliza's bolted.
Bolted?
Yes, bolted. Mrs. Pierce let it go without telling me a word about it.
Well, I'm dashed.
I don't know what to do. I got coffee this morning instead of tea. I can't find anything. I don't know what appointments I got.
Eliza would know.
Well, of course she would. But then she's gone.
Did any of you gentlemen frighten her last night after I went to bed?
You were there, Mrs. Pierce. We hardly said a word to her. Higgins, did you bully her after I went to bed?
Just the other way around. She was sliver than me. I never gave her the slightest provocation. The sliver came bang in my head before I uttered a word, and she used the most perfectly awful language. I was shocked.
Oh, well, I'm dashed.
I don't understand it. She was given every possible consideration. She admitted that herself.
Oh, well, I'm dashed.
For God's sake, stop being dashed and do something.
What?
Call the police. What are they there for, heaven's sake?
Mr. Higgins, you can't go around giving Eliza's name to the police as if she were a thief or a lost umbrella.
Why not? I want to find her. The girl belongs to me. I paid £5 for her.
Quite right. Now, the Scotland Yard, please. May I have some coffee, Mrs. Pierce?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good morning, good chap. The Colonel Hugh Pickering here. 27A Goodwall Street. I'd like to report a missing person. Anything you can do in her recovery will be frightfully appreciated. Oh, yes. Eliza Doolittle. About 21. I should say about 5'7". Her eye. Now let me think for a moment.
Brown!
Oh, brown. Her hair? Oh, well, it's a rather neutral, nondescript
Brown?
brown.
Brown? Brown!
Well, you heard what he said? Brown. Oh, yes, it is a residence. Between 3 and 4 in the morning. No. No. No, no relation at all. Let's just say a good friend. Well, now, see here, my good man. I'm not at all pleased with the tenor of that question. What the girl does here is our affair. It is your affair to get her back so she can continue doing it.
Pickering, why can't a woman be more like a man? Yes. Why can't a woman be more like a man? Really so honest, so thoroughly square, eternally noble, historically rare. When you win, you'll always leave your back intact. Why can't a woman be like that? Why does everyone do what the others do? Can't a woman learn to use her head? Why do they do everything their mothers do? Why don't they grow up like their fathers instead? Why can't a woman be more like a man? Men are so pleasant, so easy to please. Whenever you're with them, you're all. Would you be slighted if I didn't speak for hours?
Of course not.
Would you be livid if I had a drink or two?
Nonsense.
Would you be wounded if I never sent you flowers?
Never.
Why can't a woman be like you?
Here's your coffee, Colonel Pickering.
I'm going over to the Home Office, Mrs. Pierce.
I do hope you find her, sir. Mr. Higgins will miss her.
Oh, Mr. Higgins will miss her. Laugh, Mr. Higgins, I'll miss her.
Pickering! Where's the Colonel?
He's gone to the Home Office, sir.
You see that, Mrs. Pierce? That's a good man for you. I'm in trouble and he runs to help. Mrs. Pierce, you're a woman. Why can't a woman be more like a man? Men are so peaceful, such regular chaps, ready to help you through any mishap, ready to buck you up whenever you are down. Why can't a woman be a chum? Why is thinking something women never do? Why does logic never even try? Straightening up their hair is all they ever do. Why don't they straighten up the mess that's inside? Why can't a woman be more like a man? If I were a woman who'd been to a ball, then hailed as a princess, by one and by all, would I start weeping like a bathtub overflowing? And carry on as if my home were the tree? Would I run off and never tell me where I'm going? Why can't a woman be like me?
you, or told you how splendid you've been. Not a word. That's simply appalling. I should not have thrown the slippers at him. I should have thrown the fire at him.
Mother! Mother!
I thought it wouldn't be long. Stay where you are, my dear.
Mother, where the devil are you?
Remember, last night you not only danced for the prince, but you behaved like a princess.
Mother, but damn it! You!
How do you do, Professor Higgins? Are you quite well?
Am I?
But of course you are. You're never ill. Would you care for some tea?
Don't you dare try that game on me. I taught it to you. You come home right this instant and don't be a fool. You caused me enough trouble for one morning.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No woman could resist such an invitation.
How did this baggage get here in the first place?
Eliza came to see me, and I was delighted to have her. If you don't promise to behave yourself, I shall have to ask you to leave.
You mean I'm to put on my Sunday manners for this thing I created out of the squashed cabbage leaves of Covent Garden?
Yes, dear, that's precisely what I'm...
I'll see her dance first.
How did you ever learn manners with my son around? It was very difficult. I should never have known how ladies and gentlemen behaved if it hadn't been for Colonel Pickering. He always showed me that he felt and thought about me, as if I was something better than a common flower girl. You see, Mrs. Higgins, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins, because he always treats me as a flower girl, and always will. But I know I shall always be a lady to Colonel Pickering, because he always treats me as a lady, and always will. Henry, please don't grab the key.
Ma'am, Victor's here. Should I come into the garden?
The vicar and the professor? Good heavens, no. I'll see him in the library. Eliza, if my son begins to break things, I give you full permission to have me fix it. Henry, dear, I suggest you stick to two subjects, the weather and your health.
Well, you get a bit of your own back now, would you call it? Have you had enough, or do you want any more?
You want me only back to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you.
I haven't said I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed, then what are we talking about?
About you, not about me. If you come back, I shall treat you just as I have always treated you. I can't change my nature, and I don't intend to change my manners. My manner is exactly the same as Colonel Pickering.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she were a duchess.
And I treat a duchess as if she were a flower girl.
Oh, I see. The same to everybody.
Just so. The great secret, Eliza, is not having good manners, or bad manners, or any other particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. The question is not whether I have treated you rudely, but whether you have ever seen me treat anyone else better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me. I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this, but I won't be passed over.
Then get out of my way, for I won't stop for you. You talk about me as if I were a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus, all bounce and go and no consideration for anyone. But I can get along without you. Don't think I can.
I know you can. I told you you could. You never stopped for one moment to consider whether I could get along without you.
Don't try to get around me. You'll have to.
And so I shall, without you or any other soul on earth. Eliza, I've learned something from your idiotic notions. I confess that humbly and gratefully.
Well, you have my voice on your gramophone. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn it on. It's got no feelings to hurt.
I can't turn your soul on.
Oh, you are a devil. You can twist the heart in a girl as easily as some can twist her arms to hurt her. What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it. That's why I took you on.
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
Yes, and you may walk out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want to do.
And live with my father.
Yes, or sell flowers, or would you rather marry Pickering?
I wouldn't marry you if you asked me, and you're near my age than what he is.
Than he is.
I'll talk as I like. You're not my teacher now. That's not what I want. Don't you think it? I've always had just enough wanting me that way. Freddie Hill raised me twice and 3 times a day, sheep and sheep.
Oh, in short, you want me to be as infatuated about you as he is. Is that it?
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feeling I want from you. I want your kindness. I know I'm a common ignorant girl and you are both known gentlemen, but I'm not built under your feet. What I did was not for the dresses and the taxis. I did it because we were pleasant together, and I came to care for you. Not to want you to make love to me and not forgetting the distance between us, but more friendly like.
Yes, that's just how I feel. And how Pickering feels. Eliza, you're a fool.
That's not a proper answer to give me.
Well, it's the only answer you'll get until you stop being a plain idiot.
Oh, I can't talk to you. You turn everything against me. I'm always in the him one day. Ah, that's done you, Enrique, for that. Now, I don't care that. For your bullying and your big talk. There'll be spring every year without you. England still will be here without you. There'll be fruit on the tree and the shore by the sea. There'll be crawfish and clear without you. God and yours will thrive without you. Somehow Keith will survive without you. And the mill will rave on that playground space. Even that will remain without you. I can do without you. I shall not feel alone without you. I can stand on my own without you. Don't go back in your bed. I can do very well without.
Fine, I really did it. I did it. I did it. I said I'd make a woman, and indeed I did. I knew that I could do it. I knew it. I knew it. I said I'd make a woman, and indeed I did. Eliza, you're magnificent. 5 minutes ago, you were a millstone around my neck. Now you're a tower of strength, a contour battleship. Eliza, I like you like this.
Goodbye, Professor Higgins. I shall not be seeing you again.
Mother! Mother!
What is it, dear? What has happened?
She's gone.
Of course, dear. What did you expect?
Well, what am I to do?
Do without, I suppose.
And so I shall. Without her, any other soul on earth. I have my own soul, my own spark of divine fire.
Bravo, Eliza.
fun. Just a most awful man. But I shall never take her back. If she were crawling on her knees, let her promise to atone, let her shiver, let her moan, let her slam the door, and let the hellcat free. Maddie Freddy. Ha! I'm so used to hear her say, good morning every day. Her joys, her woes, her highs, her lows are second nature to me now. Like breathing out, breathing in. I'm very grateful she's a woman and so easy to forget. Rather like a habit one can always break. And yet I've grown accustomed to the trace of something in the air, accustomed to the taste.
It's almost irresistible. She's so magnificently low, so horribly dirty.
I washed my face and hands full. Come on, did.
Liza! Where the devil are my slippers?